that it's either my eyes or it's just something that weird that my brain does. But I don't know if I would want to get glasses. I don't know. I don't feel like I look. I don't know. Maybe I just have to like always have worn the wrong frames or something. But like I don't feel like I look all right in glasses. I feel like it's gonna take away from the cool guy persona that I totally have and have totally you know been able to fortify over the couple of years that I've been doing this job. It's been years. That's weird. It's been almost years. Well, it's like 5 months until years technically. So technically it's been like a year and a half, over a year and a half now. So, yep. Oh my god. So that's always fun. But I don't know. I don't know. Birds are cool. I like birds. I don't know. I feel like birds are just always like they're just always kind of there, you know? And they just kind of like walk around and they just do their thing. And I find that intriguing. Like I find that really really cool. Or it's just like you just have birds and they just kind of sit there and then they just also like occasionally move around and everything. And then you can interact with them by feeding them things and they'll like come up to you and just be like, "Hey, what's up?" And then, they just kind of sit there. I saw birds sit down the other day and I realized that I've only seen birds either sitting or standing or flying. I've never seen a bird in the process of sitting. So that was a new experience for me, I feel. That was a gratifying experience. I felt proud of myself in that moment. You know, because it's nice. It's when birds sit. It's really funny because you're just like, where did like half of you go? It's like where did the other half of the bird go? But then you realize it's just kind of sitting down. But you also feel like you can just very easily just pick up the bird and then just like kind of hold it. Like those like duck statues and everything. Like I feel like you can just like whenever I see a seagull on the beach, I feel like I can just take it and then just scoop it up. I feel like I can just take it and scoop it up and then just kind of carry it around you know, just like on me at all times. But I can't do that because of sadly societal norms. They don't allow you to pick up birds anymore, and I think we have to change that. Which is why, if you vote for me in the upcoming election, I will make sure that every single bird is able to be picked up by basically giving every single citizen about 15 feet long claws, which allow them to pick up birds from a distance as to not scare them. Because I believe in a citizen's right to pick up every single bird that they see, no matter what kind, except for crows, because I feel like crows would kind of badmouth you if you did behind their back, because like crows talk to each other. Crows talk to each other, and you don't want to be on the bad side of the crows society. All right, trust me. All right, because then you will find things everywhere. You will wake up one day, your car will be gone. It will be taken by the crows, and trust me, none of us want that. All right, none of us want your car to be taken by the crows. Okay. Yeah, I just don't. I don't know. I don't trust crows. In the rankings of birds that I trust, it goes in the birds that I've had experiences with. I would say number one is pigeon, number two is seagull, and then every other bird, and then at the very bottom is crows. I don't trust crows. I just don't. I feel like they hate me. I just feel like the crows hate me. I don't trust them, and they don't trust me. And it's a hate relationship. I hate them, they hate me. It's great. Yeah, no, but yeah. Heard you like sitting where it's like, dude, like look at that. They just kind of sit down and it's awesome. It's awesome. Bird ranking stream? Well, no. The thing is, right? I feel like it's hard to rank birds that I don't have experiences with because I've had experiences with pigeons and everything. I saw a pigeon the other day and like I caught a photo of it in like mid strut and it was awesome. I really find it funny that birds can just like walk, you know? Like I don't know. It's just something always amuses me whenever I just see a bird walk. Like I don't know. I feel like I'm just not seeing something that should be happening, even though like realistically, birds walk. We know that birds walk. But it feels like they're almost like showing off. They're just like, yeah, I can walk too. Then I can also fly. It just feels like whenever they walk, it's a slight against me. Which is again why I don't trust crows, because those guys pretty much only walk. I've rarely seen a crow fly. I've also just rarely seen crows. Are crows avoiding me? I feel like crows might be avoiding me. That makes sense. You trust seagulls? I trust seagulls. I trust seagulls more than I trust crows, but less than I trust pigeons. You know? Let's see. Let's see. But I don't know. I don't understand it. Also, in the UK, they call the sidewalk pavement here, which I find disgusting because just like when you think about it, like pavement is what is like it's the material, right? But they just call it pavement. And that's like that would be like that'd be like calling a field, oh, let's like well no, that's not a good analogy. No, yeah, no, you know what? Yeah. No. It would be like calling a pathway rocks. You know? Like, okay, that makes kind of sense, but it also just still doesn't make any sense at all. Where you're just like, hey, let's go walk on rocks. Like, which rocks are you talking about? But then other people say like, oh, let's go like, oh, make sure that you're on the right side of the pavement. I'm just like, pavement is a material. I don't understand. Is pavement a material? Hold on, let me look this up. Pavement is an American indie rock band that formed in Stockton, California in 1989. That's not the one that I was talking about. Well, okay, well now I know something new. There's a band called Pavement, apparently. Sweet. Related searches, Green Day as well, and U2. Huh. Well, you learn something new every day, and today I learned that Pavement is also the name of a band. So maybe everyone in the UK has just been telling me to walk on this band specifically, which would make sense actually. It would hurt to get like walked on, I feel. I don't know. I feel like it would get hurt to get like actually like walked on and everything. Like whenever I see like those like zombie movies or something or those like horror movies where it's just like a crowd's getting away and then one person like falls down, they just get trampled. Like that is one of my worst fears. I would say in the ranking of ways that I would die. All right, we're doing another ranking here. In the rankings of ways that I would die, I would say that number one most feared is drowning because drowning is just uncomfortable. I feel like drowning is just uncomfortable. You know? Like I feel like out of all of them, it's just kind of it just doesn't feel good, right? But then the second would be getting trampled to death. Right? I feel like that would be also awful because you don't know where it's coming from, right? Like when you get trampled to death, you do not know where the next hit's going to come from. So you can't like prepare your body for it, right? Cuz when you like know that you're going to get punched in the stomach, right? You like tense up to like take the blow, right? But when you're getting like just trampled to death, I feel like you just can't prepare for it. So it's either you just go completely loose or you tense your entire body, when in reality it just wouldn't really do much. You know? I think any way of dying would be uncomfortable. No, I think that I would say that the most non uncomfortable way, now hear me out, the most non uncomfortable way of getting killed would be to just be disintegrated by anything instantaneously. All right? I feel like that would be the best way to die is just instantaneous disintegration, right? I would want okay, the thing is, right? When you think about it, we're going to get into by the way, we're going to get into like the whole death what happens after life topic. So if you don't like that then now would not be the time. Like I'll come back in like 2 minutes. I'm sure that I'll be on a wildly different topic. Basically, right? So it's like if the afterlife and everything is just in your brain, right? When you think about it, like because everyone's just like, oh, I see like that light and everything, but that could just easily just be something inside of your brain. Would then when you get like burnt, right? When you get turned into ashes, cremated, would that technically just be getting rid of a person's ability to recognize the afterlife, or if they had an afterlife in their mind, you are technically stopping it from happening. Like so let's say right everything that like people see after death, right? Everything that like when people have like had near death experiences, when you then cremate them, right? If that's just all happening inside of their mind, and then you cremate them, you're just stopping their ability to experience the afterlife. Like how did that start to happen? I don't how did we start thinking that burning people would be like a good way? Like, yeah, I want to keep my grandma in a jar. Why did we ever like start to think about that? Like, why was that ever a choice? Where we're just like, yeah, no, I want to, we have all these bodies, right? They're taking up a lot of space. Let's just burn them, then take the ashes, put it in a nice jar that can be easily mistaken for 1,000 other things, then put it in my living room. Like, I don't know. I feel like getting like shot out into sea is a lot cooler than just like being on a, pedestal on my grandkids' home for the rest of my days. You know? Like, I feel like that would be cooler. I would want to get shot out into space. I would want to get shot out into space when I die, not because I think it's cool. Oh, I can float infinitely, forever. I would want to get shot out into space because then eventually I'll hit something. And then I will be the only thing that has lived, hopefully, maybe. I don't know how many. We don't. Well, I mean, we do. We kind of know how many like living organisms there are on other planets. I feel like then I would be the only thing to come from another planet on that planet, basically, which I think is really cool. I wouldn't get shot out into space so that I can hit another planet in like 1,000 or 10,000 years. That's why I would want to get shot out into space when I die. Not because like, oh, I can like float among the stars. I want to hit one of them, and I want to just be on it. And then eventually, when we figure out like hyperspeed light travel or whatever, if we can ever physically figure that out, then like eventually someone will just randomly find my body and they will have no idea. They will have no idea where I came from, which I think is 1,000 times funnier than, again, ashes on, you know, pedestal. Also, isn't it weird that all atoms have always existed? Like technically, right? Like I think, and I could be completely wrong about this, but like technically, all atoms have always existed, right? Because you can't like destroy or create matter out of nothing, right? So technically, like bits of my hand could have been a part of a T-Rex, maybe, like in some like weird way. Technically, that might be a possibility. Or like I could have come from like a random rock because like I think in that one Bill Wirtz video, like like asteroids hit the Earth, and then that's how we got a lot of like the basically materials. I think, I don't know. I could be just supplying complete misinformation. Don't listen to me. You've seen what videos I make or don't make. So technically, like bits of my hand could have been a dinosaur, right? And then bits of my foot could have been a part of like a random meteor that hit Earth like billions of years ago, which I think is really cool. So I don't know. I'm just waiting for my star powers to activate from that or something. I don't know. I think it's cool. No, I think it's really cool. I think it's very cool. Let's see. No, I think it's cool. I think it's cool. I think that space is awesome. Oh wow. I somehow actually circled back to the name of the topic. I wasn't meant to talk about space. I was just like, oh, get it, because space and everything. But now I am on the topic of space. Nebula. What are they called? Isn't it like nebula clouds or something? I remember seeing nebula clouds. Oh, it's just called a nebula. Okay, a nebula is an enormous cloud of dust and gas. The pictures that they have of nebulas, they are crazy. They are so cool. Like, I cannot believe that that is real. And I'm so disappointed that it's not near us. But I'm sure that there is probably a reason why it's not near us, because I have a strong feeling that because of the gas that it has, that it could make some parts uninhabitable. Um, but, I mean, yeah, no, nebulas are sick. Like, I don't know. It's so weird that, like, I find it funny, though, that scientists just kind of looked at these and then just, like, kind of saw clouds and they're just like, yeah, we'll call them, like, nebula clouds or something. Because it's the closest frame of reference that we have. Oh man, yeah, no, nebulas are cool. I did a science project on a nebula when I was still in school, I think. where it was like, oh no, 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 no. That was one of my friends. I did a science project. So basically, in my school, we had to do a science project on like a specific element that we would choose, right? And I chose bismuth, right? You know, the rainbow rock, because I was just like, this could be a way that I could subtly do something. Then I ended up learning a lot about bismuth. Like apparently, it is just a thing for indigestion. Like I didn't know that. It's just straight up like one of the main ingredients of Pepto Bismol, and I was just like, that makes a lot of sense actually. But then also, there's a really cool way to like. I thought that bismuth crystals also like were made like that, because if you haven't seen bismuth before, search up bismuth, and it looks really cool. But the thing is, initially, it's like this like weird like little like almost like silverish thing, right? But then if you crystallize it, then it turns into like that rainbow rock. But I just also find it really funny that it just helps in digestion as well. Like it's really interesting. I want to know how they like figured out like what rocks help with what, you know? Because I find it really interesting that they were just like, oh yeah, no, some rocks, just make some rocks just help your tummy. I want to figure out how they found the tummy rocks and you know, how many tummies had to become upset when they tried the wrong rock. That's what I want to know. Either that or they just like knew the chemicals or something and they were just like, oh, this could work. But I don't know. I really like to think that early science was just a giant trial and error game where essentially they just tried whatever and then eventually one thing stuck and they were just like, oh, yes, write this one down. Because, like, in the very, very beginning, they had to have done it. Right? They had to have just been doing just massive trial and error and just messing up horribly. I want to know more about that. I want to know more about how they've just like completely just like screwed up trial and error. But then also when the trial and error works and they're just like, oh my God, I can't believe that one worked. Yeah. Brings me back to lobotomies. Sorry. That was a really weird transition. No, but it like brings me back to like lobotomies and the fact that it was literally just like, your brain isn't working too well. But what if we just like, severed some parts of it, you know, stopped it from communicating to itself? And it just straight up like didn't work like a lot of the time because it was bad. And they also used it in very inhumane ways. But I also just find it kind of funny that they were just like, yeah, no, the best way to stop this from happening is to just stop the brain from being able to communicate to some parts of itself. you know like it's that same thing of like when they do like a separation of the left and right brain. I forgot what it's specifically called, but like there's this thing when you separate the right and left brain, how they can't communicate to each other. So like when you like put like a sheet of paper and you prevent the left and right eyes from like kind of seeing the same things, you can like basically have like this other you inside of you, which then like explains things. And it's just like it's really weird. It's so weird. I've seen a lot of it because I took a psychology class when I was a kid, and they like showed it, and they were just like they like on one of the sides they showed the text pick up the Rubik's cube, right? And then when they picked up, like, the hand picked up the Rubik's cube and everything, and then they removed the paper, and then they asked him like, oh, like, why have you picked up the Rubik's cube? And pretty much the person was just like, oh yeah, I know, I just always liked this as a kid, and it tried to like explain it away, which I thought was really interesting. Which I just thought was really, really interesting. Yeah, no, I don't know. I just found it really, really interesting. I don't know. I think that psychology is also really cool. I've been getting really into psychology. Well, actually, not really, but I want to get more into psychology. I've been looking at a lot of like those like 30-minute like YouTube kind of, not really like documentaries, but like you realize that like we have gone like, so like with YouTube, right? With a lot of like the way that people use YouTube is that I have gone, at least for me, I have gone so far into like using YouTube for like, oh, I can learn stuff about this, that I straight up just have like basically the equivalent of the History Channel, but with random like YouTube channels, right? Like they're basically making the equivalent of a 30-minute History Channel episode, but just in a YouTube format, and then I'm watching it, Like I remember like when my parents would be just like, "Oh yeah, no, come sit and look at this cool thing that's playing on the History Channel." I used to think that it's really lame, but then now I am willingly putting myself in front of it because I just think it's cool. I just think it's really cool. I think that YouTube like documentaries, I think are some of the best things that have happened to YouTube. Like I never knew that I needed to watch a 2 hour, video about why this random Disney show has ended. But now I found out that it has like some of the weirdest backstory and has like some of the most behind the scenes drama. And I was like, yeah, hell yeah, I wanted to see this. You know? Hell yeah, I wanted to see like why, the cast of Victorious fell out with each other or something. I don't know. Sweet. I'd be down for that. But yeah, no, I think it's cool. I can't believe that they actually did the Stanford prison experiment. That's so weird that that people actually got so carried away in their work that he was just like, no, I need this to continue. And then the fact that none of the people in the Stanford prison experiment, well, the guards in the Stanford prison experiment, basically just got so in their head about things that they just didn't see how what they were doing they actually believed that they had any kind of power. I don't know. I just thought it was really interesting. I remember that they made a movie about it. I kind of want to watch that movie because I saw some of I watched a 30-minute documentary on it, which I thought was pretty cool. I don't know. I don't know. I just really like old. I think old psychology is one of my favorite things because it borders on the line of this is inhumane, right? But then it's also they didn't know that it was inhumane until it was too late, and then some of them just kept on doing it, which then made it inhumane. But I don't know. I just feel like old psychology is just really really cool because they had barely a clue what was going on. So then they just tried some stuff, and then when they found out the repercussions of that stuff, they were like, "Oh shoot," Because the reason why they found out about I think again I don't know. This is coming from my secondhand knowledge of this kind of stuff. So again, take everything that I say with a grain of salt and pretty much never listen to me as an educational source. But from what I have heard, I believe that the reason why they thought of the idea to remove the communication between the left and the right brain was because when people would have really, really bad seizures and everything, they would see that it's oh, the pathways between left and right brain are firing off really, really fast. So if we sever those pathways, right, they might not have the old seizure. But little did they know that would cause, again, the thing that we were talking about earlier, in which it causes separation between the left and right brain, which is really interesting. Which is really, really interesting. I don't know. I really like the brain. I find it very interesting. I find it very cool. Someone said, look, and then it's a documentary on the Titanic. Yeah, no, dude, I love the Titanic so much. I think the Titanic is one of my favorite historical events. I know that sounds bad. I know a lot of people died, but I think that the Titanic is one of my favorite historical events simply because literally so much could have been avoided at any single time, and it was just something that was so doomed from the beginning. Everything lined up for it to be a tragedy, which was just awful. They were just oh yeah, no, we don't need all these lifeboats. They just take up space and make the ship look bad. Oh yeah, no, I think we might need to turn when we start. I think we might need to go a little bit faster than normal because we're a little bit behind schedule. Oh yeah, no, I think we need to turn to avoid this iceberg. And that stuff all led up to the tragedy because apparently because of the way that ships work and everything, if they had hit the iceberg head on instead of scraping the side and everything, the Titanic probably wouldn't have sunk, if not as fast. They probably would have been able to get to a safer spot or at least call out for help and have it arrive in time. So if they just didn't turn and it didn't scrape the side and then start to fill up a bunch of those little water reservoirs that they have to prevent it from sinking, then yeah, no, it would have probably not sunk as fast, I don't think. Yeah, I had multiple books when I was a kid of just it was the number of facts based on the amount of feet the Titanic was, which I thought was pretty cool. I don't know. I just really like the Titanic. Yeah. The way that I found the Titanic was that when I was a kid, I really liked watching disasters and everything. I liked watching disasters happen because I don't know. It was really, really weird. I was a really odd kid in the fact that I just really liked watching disasters happen for some reason. Like I liked, like watching like tornadoes just like rip through populated areas and everything. I don't anymore, kind of, but I used to. And basically, the way that I found and started to get like really into the Titanic was I saw like the Titanic sinking scene. I just thought it was really cool. I just thought it was really, really cool in the fact that like it tore into two, which again, they didn't know that it tore into two for like a while until it wasn't really confirmed because it was pretty much only in eyewitness accounts. And they didn't really know until they actually went down and saw it, which I think is pretty cool. I find it pretty cool. I don't know. Eyewitness accounts are always something interesting in like disasters and everything because of the way that like traumatic experiences can like alter how you remember things sometimes. So I don't know. I just find it really interesting that they were just like, oh yeah, no, it sunk in one piece for like the longest time, and then just straight up, it didn't. It didn't sink in one piece. It sunk in two pieces, which I think is pretty cool. Yeah, no, I really. What else? What else can we talk about on this fine day? Oh yeah, I'm also really a fan of the idea that so much happens that we just don't know, like in the government and in Hollywood and everything. Like there can be so many situations, so many events that could have been catastrophic if released to the public. So then they just didn't release them to the public. And it's just like we don't know that these things exist, but we also at the same time do know that they exist because of the fact that we have no clue what they are. Like there could very well be some really messed up things that happened like in the government with like experiments or like government funded things that just got really well covered up really really well in the sense of just like we don't know. So I don't know. I really like that idea where it's just like, oh yeah, no, there could just straight up be, an alien in this random facility that no one knows anything about, right? But we just never heard of it. I just think it's really cool. I just think it's really, really cool. I don't know. I hope that aliens. Well, I mean, okay, well, realistically, aliens definitely do exist, but the question is whether or not aliens exist that like are able to travel to where we are, basically. Because when you think about like how big the universe is, and then like the fact that we exist, like the chances of aliens are pretty high. But it's really a debate on like how intelligent they are, I guess. I don't know. I hope that we get some alien contact like every like it once. Just I want to see alien contact like once in my lifetime. Or it's just like, oh yeah, no. Like they definitely do exist, but like we have no idea what they're saying. you know? Because there's definitely I wish that I could know like what their plan is for like figuring out how to communicate with aliens. I wish well there might be. I haven't done any research into it, but like think about like how interesting it would be because when you think about it, they come from a completely different planet. So it's like you can't even find it's going to be really really hard to find like similar words basically. Like they just might just not have grass. So you can't point at that and go grass and then have them say their word. No, you just like they just might not have it. Man. I hope that aliens contact us one day and they're just like, "What the hell?" I'd love that. I remember I watched this like History Channel documentary where they were just like where it was like this really odd like alien documentary, right? And they were just like, oh, in this diagram, it shows that an alien may have came down and then given them an ancient power tool that was able to cut stone. And I'm just like, man, this is great. I don't know if it's true, but I know that I'm having a good time, which is why I like to watch those kinds of shows. Because they're probably not true, and they're probably just gross misinterpretations of like ancient like text or ancient like inscriptions, right? But it's just kind of funny to hear like, oh yes, now this is an alien giving a power drill to to one of the ancient Egyptians who then made the pyramids. It's like probably not, but that's cool to think about. That's pretty cool to think about. Oh man, imagine. Oh man, should I? Oh, I know what I should do. I think that if I ever get enough money, what I'm going to do is I'm going to make a large tomb for myself, and I'm going to bury myself with a bunch of weird artifacts, and I'm going to lock the tomb, and then I'm going to put it somewhere completely random, and then I'm going to have someone find it one day, hopefully not quick, right? So it like has the time to like go through like decay and everything, and they just like I just like give them like the experience of a lifetime, like I let them live like real Indiana Jones, you know? I would love to do that. I would absolutely love to do that. I think it'd be my favorite thing in the world if just, I was able to bury myself in just this random big old tomb in like somewhere completely random in the desert, and then just someone finds it one day, See, that's the reason. That's Yeah, that's what the next merch drop's going to go towards. It's going to go towards building me a giant tomb for when I die. So yeah, get my merch if you want to invest in my tomb. Cuz I think it'd be pretty funny. I think it'd be pretty good. Yeah. It's kind of like the end of Gravity Falls, you know? It's kind of like the end of of Gravity Falls where he just like put, Bill Cipher's statue just somewhere random. Except for me, it's going to be my actual body and a lot of gold coins. I'm just gonna post a photo of it. I think that's what I'll do. That's what I'll do. I think that's a fantastic idea. Isn't that a good idea? I feel like that's a good idea. Well, sorry, I'm proud of that one. I'm very proud of that one. I could. No, maybe. Well, how much would a tomb cost? Right? Like how much would a tomb cost to have and make? It would be a while. It would be a lot, probably. Unless it was like, no, because I don't want to make it lame. I would want to make it cool. I would want a cool tomb. I would want to make a cool tomb. Yeah. All right, I'm gonna go. I hope that you guys enjoyed my I just kind of had the idea to just go on a space and then just talk about and just like have just a constant stream of talking, and I think it worked pretty well. Yeah, hope you guys enjoyed. I will see you guys on Thursday for the Tell Me Why stream if you guys want to watch that. So yeah, I will see you guys then. Hope you guys have a great rest of your day. Hope you guys are doing well. Again, I'll see you on Thursday. I don't know how long it's been, but yeah. All right. Bye, everyone. Bye, 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 everyone. Goodbye, everyone. Goodbye. All right. See you.